this began, actually, it wasn't something that you were thinking after birth. We know the health benefits of afterbirth, but this was something that initially was a bit of a joke, wasn't it?
Yeah. Originally, Heather and one of her friends had been talking about donating the placenta to the Anthony Nolan Trust, but our local hospital didn't do it, so it was just a flitting conversation. And then she said, oh, why don't you take it home and eat it? And Heather was quite rightly disgusted. So I said, oh, look, I'll eat it, and that was it, left at that. And then a couple of weeks later, she mentioned it again, and then it just sort of snowballed from there. And then eventually I committed myself and said, right, when it comes, we'll request it, and I'll eat it.
Did they, knowing that you were going to eat it, and that it wasn't Heather that was going to do it, did they accept that?
Yeah, the doctors and the midwife, they were quite rightly disgusted. They joked about it in theatre when the wee fella was coming out, and then they give us it in a bag, took it away, and just said, enjoy your breakfast, and it went from there.
And so, what did sort of family and friends think about it?
They just thought it was pretty disgusting. But it's something that other people have done. It's not a new thing.
No,
people have done it. There's
mostly women.
Mostly women, yeah, of course. Yeah, you can encapsulate it. There's various different ways to eat it. But Heather wasn't interested, and I thought, well, it's something millions and millions of people have never done. So why not?
And it's sort of posted online, and so it did go viral.
Yeah.
And it looks like when you watch it, and there's lots that we can't show today. But it's like the ultimate bants, really, isn't it? And that's what it is. You're just being a lad.
I just wanted to really be that guy. I mean, the pictures are pretty grim. If I'd known it was going to go on TV, I wouldn't have been wearing my bedtime vest. I'd have dressed up for it, but it was just a bit of a laugh. I'll do this because nobody else has done it, and it went wild.
So you ate it in two different ways. You cooked a bit of it, and you had some of it raw.
Yep.
What did it taste like?
To be honest, it didn't really taste of much. It was very juicy. Once it was cooked, it was very juicy. Quite salty, I found, and quite not really chewy. It was like similar to liver, but more of a rough texture.
Right.
And if there was a taste comparison, possibly a bad cut of pork.
Right.
But I only had about 4 or 5 mouthfuls after the video cut out. And I was sat eating it, and I said to Heather, why am I still eating this? I've got sausages. And just turned my attention back to the breakfast.
What do you think of him doing that?
I was a little bit disgusted at first, but it's just Ross. Anybody that knows him or us just totally understands it's just something Ross would do.
It's typical his sort of behaviour.
Yeah.
But you've said since that actually you kind of wish that you'd kept a bit in the freezer to try yourself at a later date.
Yeah, I think at the start I'd had a terrible 9 month of morning sickness, and the last thing I'd consider of eating would have been my own placenta just after the birth. But now I'm sort of a little bit like, I wish we'd have kept a little bit in the freezer, so if I'd have changed my mind, I could have...
Tried it?
Yeah, just to try it.
You're like a match made in heaven.
Well, it's like one step further from I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here. I mean, the pictures that we've seen today, and as I said, there's a lot we can't show. It's pretty gross.
I didn't eat all of it.
No, but you did put his umbilical cord in your mouth. There's a picture of you with a tube in your mouth. That's pretty gross.
It's just part of the it's part of the placenta.
You didn't eat that?
No, not at all. No, it was just a picture for the shot. It was just for my friends, really, but it's gone
We never
crazy.
thought it would go this far.
No. Well, you're sort of saying, oh, it's pretty gross, it's pretty this, it's pretty that, but actually, not that long ago, this was kind of commonplace, wasn't it, to eat your placenta?
So the thought of it will make people squeamish, and it's not a very common practice, but historically and in different cultures, people have eaten placentas. And you see it in nature, you see it in animals, but there's a survival reason for it there. It's a big source of nutrients, particularly iron, let's say, so there's a potential benefit there. But also, if you've just given birth, you don't want to attract any predators, so you get rid of the evidence, OK? So there's a benefit for it in nature, but I like to think we've kind of moved on from there a little bit, actually, and a lot of the health benefits that are being claimed for it now, for instance, if you freeze dry it, encapsulate it or whatever, they haven't been proven. And actually, people need to be aware it is a personal choice, but there is a risk involved. Remember, this is organic body material. If you don't prepare it properly, you could make yourself sick. And actually, you need to make sure that there aren't any problems with the placenta before you do something like this, because in hospitals, we look at the placentas when there are problems with deliveries to look for signs of infection and other issues. So remember, the placenta is an organ that takes out waste. from the baby's body. So it will retain some of that. So just be careful when you're thinking about something like this.
OK, and did the hospital check that obviously everything was all right before they gave it to you? So that's the thing, you spoke to them about it, you had a plan, it wasn't a last-minute thing, so you had discussed that
No,
beforehand.
we'd spoke to the midwife from about 6 months, hadn't we?
Thoroughly cleaned it before we ate it. It was rinsed for a long
Still
time.
got your tonsils and your appendix?
Yeah, and they're not...
Have you?
Yeah, they're staying in me.
Just wondered. I just wondered where this would go next.
For more of the same, just click here, and don't forget you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel.
At 71 stone, if you reach your goal, how would you get to the food without help?
There's plenty of men who would love to be in Sid's position, so I
have people message me every day of just about, you're so lucky,